So, what did I just watch? What was that? What was that? Let's talk about Tiger King, Netflix's viral documentary that everybody has been tweeting and like texting each other about. I actually found out about it on Twitter, and as soon as I found out about it on Twitter, all of my friends were like inboxing me and was just like, you have got to review this, you have got to review it. And I was just like, do I really have time to watch like a 7-part documentary? And then the government said 2020 is canceled, stay inside. I realized I didn't have time, so I decided to watch it, and I still don't know what I watched. I don't know what this is. This documentary is unpredictable. Like every episode, I was just like, what? Huh? This is in America? Like I could not clock any of this. Every episode, I know a lot of people have a really hard time getting through the first episode, but baby, let me tell you something, stick with it. It gets weird, really weird. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. These are all Trump supporters. Ain't no way anybody in this documentary voted for Hillary, except for Jeff. Can we talk about how I did not know that he was like, not only is he a Democrat, he's a progressive. I'm like, you? Have you guys like been on like his Instagram or Twitter or seen any of his cameos? He's like a huge progressive. Jeff the scammer is a progressive. What? I told you, you can't clock any of this. I said all that to say this entire cast, they vote. You better get out there and do the same. Because baby, when the cast of Tiger King votes, we become a circus. Look at us now, baby. Look at us now. No shade if you are watching this from Oklahoma. It's real talk. You guys need to like get a PR agency and have them help you out, because Tiger King, this documentary really ruined it for Oklahoma. Because at this point, when you think of Oklahoma, you think of big cats and meth. Like, this is what Oklahoma is known for. Tigers and meth. Oklahoma. Put that on your website. That just needs to be the attraction at this point. So Tiger King is about Joe Exotic, an exotic character from Oklahoma who has a big cat, like not quite a zoo, but it's like a big cat attraction. And it has like all kinds of animals in there, but the huge attraction to this big cat park are like the tigers. And when you first meet him, he's a lovable, fun character, draped in sequins, out and proud, great one-liners, and a bunch of like colorful employees. Everything seems so sweet, so fun, so innocent, until it isn't. Until it isn't. So Joe is in a war with Carol Baskin. She owns a cat preserve, a big cat preserve in Florida. Shout out to Carol. I know you guys seen this before, but I was like, this is the most Carol Baskin thing that I own right now. So this is what we're going with. So anyway, Carol and Joe are arch enemies at this point because Carol wants to shut down Joe's like big cat attraction, but Joe is just like, you're trying to shut me down, but you're doing the same thing. But Carol is just like, oh no, I'm not doing the same thing. I'm actually saving the cats that people like you torture for entertainment. I disagree. I think they're doing the same thing, but we will get to that later. So Joe takes it upon himself to now escalate this mini war that he has going on with Carol Baskin. In the beginning, it was just, a little war of words. Yes, she's trying to shut you down, but Joe, I'm sorry, bro, you were wrong. You were wrong. You escalated it. So Joe now creates this internet show where he has a dummy or a blow-up doll that he calls Carol Baskin. Every time he films this show, he shoots the blow-up doll. The only time he doesn't shoot the blow-up doll is when he's shoving a dildo. Is when he is shoving a dildo down the Carol Baskin blow-up doll's mouth. You were wrong. I can't believe there was nobody in his life telling him that, you know what, buddy? This is something that you should not be doing. How did he not know that saying that you're going to shoot someone, like, guys, he said it. He said, if I ever see Carol Baskin in the street, and then he turned to the blow-up doll and shot it in the head. Dude, how did you not know that this was wrong? You own a whole gun, but you don't know the law. You know what? That makes sense. That makes sense. So after Joe starts threatening to shoot Carol Baskin in the head, shoving dildos down to Carol Baskin, blow up doll's mouth, and then putting snakes in her, he put snakes in her mailbox. Let me tell you something. Joe Exotic and Carol Baskin, they should be pictured under the definition of petty. I am a petty person. I come from a petty family. I know petty people. I am best friends with the pettiest person you could ever meet. Let me tell you something. We got nothing on them. We got nothing on these people. Guys, they were tit for tat for years. It never died down. They never got over it. They just kept it going. Joe obviously escalated it, right? But Carol, she finished. Carol finished it. She let that man pile up everything that he was doing. She just let him do it. And as soon as she had enough on this dude, she destroyed him. That's why I call her Cersei. Let me tell you something. Carol Baskin and Cersei, same damn person. Same damn person. Poor Joe Exotic was playing checkers when the whole time Carol was playing chess. Playing chess. I'm telling you, she's the freaking Kaiser Soze of this documentary. Girl, you did that. You did that. Let me tell you something. I am so looking forward to Carol Baskin's Snap episode. It's going to be epic. It is going to be epic. I know the ID channel is just waiting. They probably already have the script written. They're just waiting for her to get convicted for killing her husband because she fed that man to them tigers, guys. She fed that man to them tigers. There's no way that she didn't. Because if you remember, when we meet Carol Baskin, her husband is walking behind her, right? And she's so sweet and she's so kind. And she's just like, oh, do you want me to sit right here? Make sure you get me right here so we can get the cat in the picture as well. Hey, cool cats and kittens. She's that really, sweet kind of hippie motherly type when you first meet her. But guys, when we first met her, she did something. And I was just like, she's a sweetie, but she got a little mean streak. I know she was a stone cold killer because when we first meet her, she is taking the camera crew around her big cat preserve where she has saved these cats that have been tortured in the United States of America by people who were trying to exploit them. She is saving these cats and receiving donations to take care of these tigers and lions and bears, oh my, because she is saving them, not exploiting them. Although she's keeping them in cages and allowing people to come by and pet them for a fee. But it's not the same thing because she loves the big cats. Okay, Carol. Anyway, when she's showing the camera crew around her big cat preserve, her husband, I guess he was walking too close to her because she was walking. She was just like, and this is where we, do you just want to do the tour? Yeah. He can do it too because he knows everything. No, tell him about that. Oh, he's such a sweetie. I was like, oh no. She was in and out. She looked at that man. That man jumped back. He was so scared. I was just like, she beats him. She beats him. I believe that Carol's husband knows how her first husband was slaughtered because he helped her chop that man up and turn him into Purina for the lions and tigers and bears at that big cat preserve. That's what I believe. Carol did it. God, watch it back. It was just like a switch went off. She was just like, yeah, and this is where we keep our tigers. And over here is where we have the... Do you want to do it? Because he knows everything. Oh, he's such a sweetie. Ma'am. That's a stone cold killer. So while Joe Exotic is playing checkers, Carolyn is playing chess. She's getting all of her ducks in a row. And Joe is living his best life, thinking that everything that he is doing is legal, not thinking that Carol is coming to take everything away from him. He's also marrying 2 straight men. What? So Joe Exotic has one husband. I forget his name, but we're going to call him Yuck Mouth. He has a full property of Joe Exotic tattoo right above his dingle, like right above his crotch. It's a huge, terrible tattoo. It looks like a prison tattoo. And the whole documentary, he's shirtless and toothless. I'm like, what is going on? Oklahoma, what the hell is going on in Oklahoma? Anyway, Joe Exotic and Yuck Mouth are living their best life. Here comes Travis, a young, handsome guy who Joe tells him that you are not straight, you're gay. Because when Travis first was talking to Joe, he told him that he was straight. And Joe was just like, well, when you watch porn, do you look at the guy who has the small penis having sex with a woman, or do you look at the guy who has the big penis having sex with a woman? And Travis, 19-year-old Travis, was just like, oh no, I look at the guy who has the big penis having sex with a woman. He was just like, well, I guess you're not gay then, are you? That's it? I thought being attracted to men. I thought that was it. But apparently, if you look at porn and you're a straight man and you're looking at the bigger penis, then you're gay. I thought that it was just you imagining that being yourself. And a lot of guys cannot come to grips with the fact that, you know, they might not be packing like they want to. So in their imagination, they're believing that they're that guy. That's what I thought. But Joe was just like, you gay. And Travis went along with it. Let me tell you something. When I was watching this, I was just like, neither one of these dudes give me gay. And I'm not saying that I'm a gay expert. I am saying that I went to a performing arts high school and college. I feel like I can tell when a person is gay, especially when a person is closeted because of, you know, I grew up in church and, you know, I'm an actor in Hollywood. Let me tell you something. Girl. Child, let me stop before they take this video down. But I'm just saying, I feel like I know. When we met Joe's boyfriend, soon to be husband, and then we met Travis, I was just like, these dudes, I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it, even from the pictures. Even the pictures look forced. Come to find out, Joe Exotic, the lovable character with the beautiful sequin shirts and that sweet little Oklahoma Southern accent, is a whole predator. Joe Exotic is a predator. What he was doing was finding destitute men and women to work for nothing at his big cat zoo or whatever. And he would have them living in destitute situations and feed them meth and expired meat from Walmart. And he did the same thing to his husbands. Both of Joe's husbands, Yuckmouth and Travis, were meth addicts. And Joe was feeding them meth, keeping Travis hostage on the cat plantation, and how he manipulates young addicts to do what he wants them to do, to marry him, to have sex with him, to work at his cat plantation for nothing in terrible conditions, to get your arm ripped off and still come back to work within what, a week? One of his employees, a trans man, I just learned that in my research, he was actually working with one of the cats and they gnawed his arm off. I will say he was real chill. For someone who was attacked by a tiger, he was real chill. And then he said in this interview, oh, they came in the room, they gave me a paper to sign, and I was back to work within a week. How much money did they pay you to not only amputate your arm, but to come back to work in a week and then do an interview about how much you love working there and those cats? How much did you get paid? Because that's what happened. I don't know if y'all caught that, but when he said they came in my room, in my hospital room, and they gave me a paper to sign, and I signed it, and then I was back to work within a week. Joe paid him off so that he could give off this front that everything is cool and come back to work and do this whole press conference to make his customers and everybody who was inquiring about this place because of the incident feel safe. Joe is a scammer. Joe Exotic is a whole scammer. Really disappointing, because I'm telling you, this documentary sets you up, and then it's just a huge fall from there. Like, it takes you all the way up. And then at the end, it is just like so tragic and sad. How much money did Joe pay him? Because he had an option of actually saving his arm. The doctor said it was going to be 2 years of surgery, or he was going to have to amputate his arm. And he chose the amputation. And I was just like, oh, you had an option? Oh, that's what you chose? I don't know if I would have did the same thing and then went back to work. Wasn't even triggered. And you know what? It probably wasn't a lot of money that Joe offered him, because he, for what we saw in the interview, he's still in a destitute situation. What the hell is going on in Oklahoma? What the hell is going on in Oklahoma? Let's talk about Travis. Broke my heart. Broke my heart, because when Chucky, when Joe called that man an overgrown Chucky doll, baby, I hollered. Joe can read. Joe can dress. And Joe can read. He's still a terrible person. So anyway, we meet James. I believe his name is James. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. We meet James, but we're gonna call him Chucky because that's what Joe Exotic calls him. Chucky and Jeff actually came on to help Joe save the cat farm, because after that incident where where his employee's arm was taken off and the stuff that he was going through with Carol Baskin financially, he was just really going through. So they came in to like help save the cat farm. So we think. But he was talking about Travis and he was saying how they would be going to the strip club and Travis would want to come. And Travis would just be like, Joe won't let me leave. So Joe was like keeping this kid as like his sex slave and like pumping him full of meth to keep him like addicted to him. Come to find out, Travis was sleeping with every young girl that came in and out of that cat plantation. So the kid was straight, but he was an addict. And he had some older man who was a predator perverting him and perverting his addiction. So Travis, I guess, had come to his breaking point. You know, he was being held captive on this cat plantation. He was probably sick of being an addict and, you know, wanting to get clean. He just seemed very unhappy because there was a section in this documentary where he is like pointing the gun at the camera and like always like acting like he's going to shoot himself. And he actually did. He's not caught on camera shooting himself, but the reactions of him shooting himself is actually put in this documentary. And it's really unfortunate. And it's really, really sad. It really, really is sad because this documentary kept on cutting back to when Travis first got to the big cat farm. See, this is what Joe would do. He would entice you with this Jungle Book kind of fantasy, you know, in the middle of Oklahoma. Like he would make you feel like this is what, like his cat plantation is actually that, and it wasn't. Because you saw Travis come there as a really young kid, and then you watched him just grow and he just looked sick. He looked a mess. He looked filthy all the time. He looked depressed. It was really sad to see that kid just deteriorate. And while Travis is falling apart, Joe's other husband is sleeping with another worker at the place, and he gets the girl pregnant, and then they get married. I was just like, what? What is going on here? So much stuff like happens in this documentary. Like you just cannot keep up. I want to talk about everything, but I'm just like, it's so much that happens. How do you marry two straight men in Oklahoma? Like on a big cat plantation? Like what? Before I move on, I gotta talk about Travis's funeral. The ghetto. The ghetto. So first of all, the first row was all of Travis's family, his mom and his sisters. They were all doped out. The mother was tweaking, like she could not keep her jaw like straight. She was like tweaking and twitching. And I'm like, this is your son's funeral. Travis never had a chance, guys. Travis never had a chance. And while the mom is tweaking, the sister is like passed out. The other sister is passed out. And then Joe is giving a eulogy talking about how Travis put his brown balls on his jaw. What? What? I can't. It's such a tragic ghetto mess. That's what this is. It is a tragic ghetto mess. It is a lesson in pettiness, and it is a teaching tool on how to get away with murder, laced with animal abuse. That's what this is. That's exactly what this documentary is. So Joe Exotic at this point has been sued by Carol Baskin, also known as Cersei. She sued him and won because not only was Joe Exotic making terroristic threats about killing her, he also was taking her logo, taking her wording and using it as his own. So he was copywriting a lot of stuff that she was doing, not because he wanted to do it, but because he was being petty. He just wanted to get at her. I don't know. To be honest with you guys, I don't know why Joe took it so far. Carol in the beginning was not taking a lot of money from Joe. She was just really warning people and just having them make the decision on if they want to be a part of this, because Joe was, you know, taking his big cat show on the road. He was performing in malls all over, you know, like the Midwest. And everywhere he went, Carol would put something up or she would put something up on the website. And it just really pissed Joe pissed him off to the extreme, because he went from maybe losing a couple of dollars to losing millions of dollars because Carol sued him for filth and would not let up. Joe would meet with her husband and like try to, talk about payment arrangements. And Carol was just like, no, I want your mother's house. This is why I call this chick Cersei. This is why I call this chick Cersei. Joe realized that he went too far and he tried to make amends. He wanted to end this. And Carol was just like, no, I'm not settling this until I have your farm and I have your mother's house. I'm going to make sure that your family don't ever eat again. This is Carol Baskin. Cersei got nothing on this woman. Nothing. She does all of that, but she sits there so sweet and her little lion print and it's just like, oh my goodness. Hi, cool cats and kittens. Thank you for donating $10,000 to my big cat farm. Or her big cat sanctuary. And while she's doing all this mother of light, this lily of the valley, this innocent angel saving all of these cats from these predators in the United States who is exploiting these animals, she's exploiting the animals as well and exploiting volunteers at her big cat sanctuary while also beating up a husband and having him dressed like a tiger for Halloween. What? No. Wait, it wasn't Halloween. It was their wedding day. Joe is right. I don't care what nobody says. Joe is right about Carol Baskin because I saw it on that first episode. I said, oh no, something is up with this lady. She comes off so sweet, but Carol Baskin is sinister. Sinister. This man is on the phone crying like, I can make payments. Can we stop this? I'm losing my money. And she's like, no, I want your mother's house. His dad died. She was like, I don't care. Did he leave you some money? Carol, what? However, Joe is bad at managing money because he decides then to run for governor. And I will say this, I do think at first that Joe was not only running for governor and president because he ran for president first. I think he was doing that to bring attention to the big cat farm. However, Joe, who loves attention, got in the way of what he was actually doing. And he just really loved all the attention that people were giving him. And he was just really mismanaging funds. Actually taking money from the big cat farm and actually using it to fund his presidential race and his governor race. And he was moving and mismanaging and embezzling money. And it blew up in his face. But Joe didn't care. Why? Because he was going viral. He was going viral because nobody knows that Joe is a predator. Nobody knows that Joe is exploiting people who are sick and destitute. Nobody knows that Joe is taking tigers and shooting them in the head because they've gotten too big for him to handle. Nobody knows that but Carol Baskin. And this is how Carol Baskin knows. Guys, this is what I think happened. So Jeff and Chucky Doll comes in to save the big cat farm because Joe is having issues because he can't pay Carol. All of a sudden, this dude shows up, Jeff, this dude with all this money, scammer, Chucky Doll, dude who owns all of this stuff, scammer, right? All of a sudden, they come in to help save the big cat farm. And as soon as they come in to help save it, all of a sudden, they're planning a murder plot to kill Carol. All of a sudden, Jeff is filming himself, confronting Joe about embezzling money and, trying to kill Carol. All of a sudden, when these two show up, all of this is happening. Let me tell you something. Joe has been running this business for 20 years, right? He's had financial problems because he messed with Carol. As soon as Jeff and Chucky Doll gets in the mix, Joe all of a sudden ends up in prison, which he is still currently there. Now he got the Rona. I think Carol Baskin did that too. I'm dead serious. Carol got the power. Let me tell you something. For her to be able to kill her millionaire husband and get away with it, his entire family is still afraid of that woman. They were just like, oh no, we are not going after her. We are even afraid to do this interview because we are afraid that we will end up like our father, missing. An entire family are shaking in their boots because of this lady who's dressed in a leopard muumuu. Get the hell out of here. Carol Baskin is a G. She is a G. I honestly believe that she sent the Chucky Doll and Jeff to set up Joe Exotic. Because later in the documentary, Jeff and the Chucky Doll fall apart. Now all of a sudden, after he's fallen out with Jeff, the Chucky Doll was now saying that Joe was nowhere in the negotiations or the talks about killing Carol Baskin. And I honestly believe that. That's the only thing that I believe from this Chucky doll. Everything else, I'm just like, well, Joe did that. You know what I mean? Joe was embezzling funds. Joe is a predator. Joe was killing them cats. Joe was mismanaging funds. Joe was abusing sick and destitute and meth addicted people. He did all of that. I don't think that he set up that murder plot to kill Carol. I think that Carol brought in Jeff and the Chucky doll, and when Jeff and the Chucky doll came into Joe's life, everything went to hell. Like, he was able to run everything poorly, but it was still up and running. As soon as they came in, he lost everything. They gained everything. And all of a sudden, Carol got everything that she wanted. And she's still trying to get money out of this dude. I bet you the check that Joe Exotic gets from this documentary is going straight to Carol's pockets. Straight to Carol's pockets. I think she also set this up because Joe started talking. He started talking and telling people that she killed her husband. So that was another thing. Carol had to get rid of that dude. She had to get rid of Joe. Now Joe got the Rona. I'm telling you, Carol Baskin got something to do with it. She got the power. You can't touch this woman. You cannot touch this woman. Like, Jeff came out of nowhere. He came out of nowhere, and all of a sudden he was everything that Joe needed. And then when everything didn't go according to plan, all of a sudden he's taping Joe. He's working with the feds. He's getting Joe locked up. He's taking over Joe's cat plantation, which he still runs. He still runs with his wife, that creepy couple. That creepy, weird couple. Him and I have no money. What does he have on this woman? This young girl sitting over there pregnant while he's talking about how hot their nanny is. What? This little bald-headed man? What does he have on you, girl? Also in this documentary, we meet another predator, Doc Antle. Doc Antle is running an entire cat plantation sex trafficking cult. Like, when one of his former employees was talking about how he grooms girls, he goes after girls who are virgins or don't have a lot of sex partners so that he could be like the first guy that they have sex with, or be like the lord over them and control them. He has like several wives. They all live on the cat plantation. He was a really creepy dude. And you know how creepy you have to be creepier than Joe Exotic? Doc Antle is creepy. And you know what's even weirder about that is that the dude who was the inspiration for Scarface was in this documentary, and he was the most normal person there. He was literally talking about how an undercover FBI agent was burned on his property, and he was just like, I didn't burn the body, but I was there, so, you know, I went to prison for it. And he was like the most sane. He was the most sane person of this documentary. The dude that Scarface is based off of was the sanest person in this documentary. That tells you everything that you need to know. Everything that you need to know. Joe Exotic, the glittery predator. We have his two straight husbands, Travis and Yuckmouth. Travis shoots himself in the head in front of Joe's campaign manager, who used to be the manager over guns at Walmart. And even after Travis shot himself in the head, he still stayed at that job. So what the hell were they doing to him at Walmart? That he was just like, this cat plantation where my boss is keeping sex slaves and one of them shot himself in the head in front of me. I'm still deciding to stay here and collect this check, then go back to Walmart. What the hell is going on in Oklahoma? Somebody got to tell me something. Somebody got to tell me something. We have Jeff, the 4-5 scammer who wears a bandana and a ball cap and a motorcycle jacket in all elements. Winter, spring, summer, and fall, he has on this entire outfit. He's a whole scammer. He don't have no money. He comes to Joe's cat plantation with a felon who's his right-hand man, who was all of a sudden willing to kill Carol out of the blue. He's willing to kill Carol and help save Joe's cat plantation from Carol Baskin. Then we got the Chucky doll. Scammer, has nothing. He shows up out of nowhere to save the cat plantation. Both of these two come in. The cat plantation is gone. Now Jeff has it. He's trying to get rid of it. Where the hell did he get this money? If he don't have no money, where did he get how is he funding his lifestyle? Carol Baskin. All of these players are small fries. Can't nobody touch the queen. The only one who was free, not on meth, not living in poverty, still got her big cats, have not been raided by the FBI, and is still collecting big checks from Facebook and from all these simple people who still believe in what she's doing? Carole Baskin. Carole Baskin. At least for now, because the sheriff in Florida is now investigating her because he watched the documentary and he was just like, let me open up this cold case. So Carole, I think you might be going to prison soon. I think it might be happening, but you were still Cersei. Even at the end, Cersei had to come down. But sis, you reigned, and you reigned supreme. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. I guarantee you that husband is going to sing like a bird. That's who the sheriff is going to start working on first. If the FBI don't get to him first, that's who they're going to start working on. And also, when Joe got locked up, he started singing like a bird too. So he started telling on everybody. That's why Doc Antle got raided. His little cat plantation got raided. We don't know where he's at this point, but we know that the FBI raided his little cat plantation. I think with the way Joe hates Carolyn, I think he told the FBI about her as well. I know if the FBI is looking at Carole, they might be, but I know that the sheriff is. The FBI probably is. The way Joe was telling on everybody. No, Carole was on the top of the list. Poor Joe. You were never on Carole's level. Never. Carole won. Carole won. Now Joe is sitting in a cage in Oklahoma, just like those lions and tigers that he kept in filthy cages in Oklahoma. So listen, life comes at you fast, buddy. Life comes at you fast. You know, one thing that really shocked me about this whole thing is that Joe was getting money. All of these people were getting money, and they still lived in poverty. Joe's home. Joe was living in a whole trailer, and he was raking in millions of dollars, still living in extreme poverty. There's a message somewhere in there. Out of all of this, the only person that I feel bad for is Travis. I feel like he never had a chance. Like he never had a chance. And I feel bad for the animals. You know what I mean? Those baby cubs were taken away from their mother as soon as she gave birth to them, and Joe just started pimping them out. And then when the cats got too big, take them to the back and just shoot them in the head. You know what's even sadder is that Joe's employee, the one who was given the charge to be the one to take the cats out and like shoot them in the head and get rid of them when they get too big, that weighed on that man so much. In his last interview, he was out of his mind. I don't know if he was on meth. Wait, no, meth is a downer, right? He had to be on meth. He obviously had just, taken some meth, and his last words to the camera before we didn't see him anymore was, when you look those cats in the eye and then you shoot them in the head, it weighs on you. It weighs on you heavy. And then he just kills over in this meth stupor. It was so sad. This started off so fun and just shocking and oh my goodness. And then it just ends in total depression. There's still some funny moments because Joe's right-hand man, the dude who lost his legs, not to tigers, but to ziplining. But as we're wrapping his scenes up, you feel really sad for him because there's this sad music playing and you're hearing him talk about how his friend is going to die in jail. And then we cut to this scene where he's pulling up to the gas station with the whole skeleton in the passenger seat and nobody says anything. What the hell is going on in Oklahoma? Somebody from Oklahoma gotta talk to me. Anyway, I hope I didn't spoil it too much for you guys. I suggest you still watch it. It's a ride. Even with everything that I talked about here, there's still stuff that I just have not gotten to because there's so much that happens every episode. This documentary is a wild ride. Know this, Carole Baskin is Cersei. She did it. She did it, guys. She fed that man to some tigers. She absolutely did. And everybody else aside from Travis is scammers. This is all scamming. Oh my goodness, Oklahoma. Meth, scamming, and tigers. Wow. Wow. All going on in Oklahoma. And it was legal until it wasn't. That's all I wanted to talk about. I can go on and on talking about this documentary. If you watched it, let's talk about it in the comments section below. If you haven't and you made it all the way to the end of this, still go watch it. I'm telling you, you will still be shocked. So many things happen in this, and it is a wild ride. Thank you so much for stopping by Nikki Star TV. And if you like what you see here, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will see you soon for something else because, baby, I ain't got nothing but time. Love you much. Bye.